I'm Victor with Volquartsen Firearms. Today we are going to be cleaning our ENV pistol. This process applies to our 22 long rifle model as well as our 17 HMR model. One thing we get asked a lot is how often they should be cleaned. Unfortunately, that is not a clear-cut answer and depends on several factors, including the type of shooting you're doing, the type of ammo being used. Lead round nose will require more cleaning more often than copper-plated ammo. It is possible to clean too often, which can cause more damage than letting it go a couple of range trips. For casual shooters, the gun will really tell you it is time to clean. For competitive shooters, we suggest about 1,000 to 2,000 rounds. Once you're finished cleaning, it is recommended to shoot about 50 rounds through it to ensure function if you're cleaning before a competition or hunt. You should also be aware that cleaning the bore will affect accuracy for the first 20 rounds until the bore gets seasoned. Let's get started. Tools you'll need will be a torque wrench, an interchangeable screwdriver with 1/8 inch 9/64 bits. You'll also need a 3/32 Allen wrench, picks, so either metal or plastic, a nylon brush. Other supplies you'll need will be a nitrile glove, a rag of some sort to clean everything off, our bow rope, and then a cleaner. We have the breakthrough all-in-one here along with compressed air. First thing we'll need to do is, if you have the rapid release, you need to remove the paddles. These take the 3/32 Allen wrench, so go ahead and in there, break it loose. You can lift these out. Sometimes the pins don't come out, but that is okay. They can be left in there. Set your paddles off to the side. Next thing we'll need to do is we need to loosen your action screw. That means this one takes the 9/64 Allen bit. So go ahead and pop that loose. You can back it until it stops backing up. And then you're going to want to set your safety in between as best you can. And then lift the fore end off and up like that. You can set your chassis off to the side now. Next thing we'll need to do is we need to take out our TG2000, which involves pushing the pins out. These ones are loose. Sometimes you will need to take a punch to them to pop them loose. And then lift the TG2000. Set that off to the side for now. We'll get back to that here in a second, but when we go to put everything back together. And now we'll take the bolt out. This takes the 1/8 inch Allen key. So we'll go ahead and put that into our screwdriver. Go ahead and back our charging handle off. Set that off to the side. Next thing we need to do is actually remove our buffer. Sometimes these need to be rotated to get out, but this one actually pushes out pretty easily. Go ahead and push the buffer out, set that off to the side, and now remove the bolt. With the competition bolt, we do recommend pulling back right here, all the way back, and keep pressure on it as it is under a lot of spring pressure, and lift the front of the bolt up, and then capture the recoil rod, take that out. What I like to do is set vertical on here and then slowly release the spring and recoil rod, and lift that off. Now that we have it all apart, we can start cleaning our receiver and breech face area. So really, you just need to take a rag in there, get out any dirt and debris, mainly along the top here and in the breech face. Sometimes you do need to take a little bit more off than you can with a rag. You can either use a pick on the breech face here, and the main point is keeping this clean here. So you can also use your nylon brush to brush anything out in there. Now we want to go through with one final wipe through to get all of the loose stuff out. And now we're going to go ahead and change over to doing our battle rope. Nice thing about the battle rope is it does make it easy to actually pull it out with that T-handle. So you want to put it in through the breech here, into the chamber, run it through the end. With that, once you get the little brass piece there towards the chamber, slow down a little bit, you got it in, and then go ahead and pull it through. This will sometimes be a little stiff, but that is normal. We usually recommend at least twice through your barrel to clean it all out. But a lot of people do 3 times. Now that we've done that, we can go ahead and put our bore snake off to the side and set our barreled action off to the side too. Next thing we'll clean will be our recoil rod and spring. So with that, you'll get a lot of dirt right up towards the end there. Go ahead and wipe that off. Make sure you get as much as you can. Set that off to the side, and then you can go ahead and clean off your recoil spring. Don't want to actually pull on it to pull it apart while you're cleaning. That can stretch out your spring a little bit and cause some issues. Once you got that, then we'll go ahead and do the competition bolt. With the DLC coating, most of this will just wipe right off. So go ahead and get a nice wipe down. The key areas that do get a lot of carbon buildup will be down in the track here for your ejector and feed lips. So make sure you get that clean. And then the key point here is to get the breech face. The buildup there can cause a lot of issues. So wipe it off. And at this point, you can also take your pick and remove any big chunks up here. And another key thing is to actually remove along the edge here of the actual spot where the round goes in. Pull back your extractor, get underneath that. That gets missed a lot, and that can cause issues with firing. So make sure you get all that off. Once you've done that, and then you can wipe the last of the chunks off, and you're good. Go ahead and set that off to the side. And the next thing we'll do is our TG2000 trigger group on here. Really, you just need to wipe everything down in this. You shouldn't need to take it down any farther than it already is. So I'll wipe everything down. If you need to get in there with a nylon brush, you can do that. And then we suggest putting it on the fire, putting your thumb over the hammer and decocking the hammer itself. Get in the back there. You don't need to take anything out, but just get in there, wipe everything down, get any big chunks out of there. Once you're to this point, we do suggest blowing it out with some compressed air. We do have this in the can here. Once you've blown it out, give it another little wipe, just make sure, and then you can go ahead and recock the hammer. So go ahead and make sure the end of the hammer spurt is in the middle of the hammer there. Go ahead and cock it, and then put it back to safe, and wipe it down one last time. If you do want to take it down any farther, you can reference our reassembly of the TG2000. If you do take it down farther and need to put it back together. Now that we've done that, we are pretty much done cleaning. You can set the TG2000 off to the side, remove any other of the cleaning materials from the area, and grab your barreled action and bring it back into the center here. So first things first, we do need to put our competition bolt in. So take your recoil rod and recoil spring. You're going to have to go ahead and put the recoil spring on the rod, and then you need to run the recoil rod through the hole here. So I suggest setting it up just like this, compressing the spring so you expose a good portion of the recoil rod, get it lined up, and then you can use the competition bolt to compress everything. Once you've got it compressed, go ahead and grab the end of the recoil rod, and you're going to want to hold on to it as tight as you can. And then you're going to want to get the end of the recoil rod right here on this little shelf in here. It's very important to get it on that, otherwise you can have some issues. So once you actually have it on there and it feels like it's actually on there, go ahead and pull back on the front of the bolt all the way, and then drop it in. If you get it right, it'll drop all the way in. I was actually compressing the extractor that was preventing it from going in. So make sure that the extractor isn't being pushed out. And once it's all the way forward, we'll go ahead and put your charging handle into there. So it does screw in. So you can screw it all the way back down in. And this does have a torque spec on there of 25 inch-pounds. So you take your 1/8 inch bit, put it into your torque wrench, and go ahead and set it for 25 inch-pounds. Right there. Go ahead and put it in, and then twist till it clicks, or whatever your torque wrench of choice does. All right, so go ahead and pull that out, set that back off to the side. Now we're going to go ahead and put our buffer back in. With the buffer, this one's sliding in real nice and easy, but if you need to, you can actually twist as you're going in, and it will help slide it into its hole. Now that we've got the bolt installed and the buffer on, it's time to actually oil. Really, on our competition bolts with the DLC coating, we don't need a whole lot of oil on it. We just need a drop or two on the recoil rod itself, so you can go ahead and apply it there, rub it into the recoil rod itself, and run it back and forth a couple times to get it worked in. Next thing we need to do is actually install the TG2000. Go ahead and set it upside down, and you're going to want to set it down into the receiver and kind of line up that front pinhole. And with that, go ahead and if you need to set it on the side, you can do that, just so you can see the whole pinhole there. Once you get that first pin in, that locates everything, and all you need to do is to start the pin in the back and just lift up a little ways, and it'll go through. Sometimes these will be tight, so you might need a little bit of a mallet on there. Now that we've got the TG2000 reinstalled, we can go ahead and put the chassis back on. Again, with putting this together, you want to set the safety to the middle position. So set it right about like that. And then you're going to want to set the back of the chassis, or back of the receiver, right down into here, and then twist it in just like a 1022. Just like that. Once you got that in, you can go ahead and start to install your screw. This is where that 9/64 bit comes in handy. Go ahead and run it down, and the torque spec for the ENV chassis is 25 inch-pounds also. So go ahead and set your torque wrench to 25 inch-pounds. Put your 9/64 bit in there and go ahead and set it. There you go. Once you've done that, the last thing to do is to put our rapid release paddles back on. So go ahead and set it down, and with this, you want to get the alignment pin in the front and press it down. That'll be up, and then take your 3/32 Allen wrench and twist it in. There is no torque spec on this, so it's just nice and tight. And then again, with the other side, same thing. Now that that's all done, we have finished cleaning our ENV pistol. If you have any more questions, you can contact us at Volquartsen.com.